Hello and welcome to another video from My Random Hobbies, and today we're going back to look at some comics that I have purchased recently, and they are two Dark Horse comics. So let's get into it. Okay, so those of you who are comic collectors or avid comic readers will know Dark Horse Comics, and perhaps, and again, I've got a limited experience of this, but perhaps the name Dark Horse is a fair description. It's a slightly sort of, or the comics I've seen are slightly more adult in their content in terms of the language used, and perhaps the sort of violence used in the comics as well. And maybe there are sort of the fluffier end of comics, but the ones that I've seen of Dark Horse have been sort of the slightly darker side. So perhaps aptly named. And I have purchased two comics from eBay, both featuring the Predator. And again, those of you who've seen previous videos, you will know that the Predator film, particularly the original one, I absolutely love. Absolute classic film, as is the Alien franchise as well. I think I've got a pop. Let's have a quick look, see if I can find it. There it is. Okay. And there's the Alien pop as well. So both franchises, something that I'm quite keen on. So I bought these comics. This one, I believe, and please again if I'm wrong, correct me, but I believe this was the first appearance of the Predator, but I could be wrong. And this one, I believe, possibly the first appearance of Predator and Alien together in the comics as well. But again, please do correct me if I'm wrong. Comics is still something that I'm really not fully into and fully sort of understand, but there we go. So they're in reasonable condition for comics that have been around from 89 and 90. But you know, I just bought them to see if the sort of written comic version sort of was as good as the film versions, and they're okay. I think what I hadn't appreciated is that this comic actually has three different sort of stories going on. So it's not one continuous comic about a Predator story. So we've got Predator in the start. In fact, I'll show you the front bit there. So Predator is the top story, then the Heartbreakers, and then a Tough Nut to Crack. So, you know, decent drawings of the Predators in here. It's not too bad at all. But again, it's only for probably a third of the book, maybe not even that. And again, it's one of those where the story will continue. Then you've got various sort of articles, letters written in by readers of Dark Horse Comics. Then you're on to Heartbreakers, which appears to be some sort of war-based comic strip there. Okay. Then I mean that probably is actually almost as long as the Predator one, and then a Tough Nut to Crack, again different sort of story, type of story within this comic. Not my cup of tea, but you know, there we go. Would I have probably bought a whole series of these back in the day? Possibly not. I'm not actually a big fan of the sort of stories where they're split, and I know a lot of the Spider-Man ones that I've talked about in the past, that's what they do. You've got a continuation of the story from comic to comic, which is what gets you to buy more. But I think if I was going for a comic, I would want a comic about Predator, for example, or a comic about aliens. I wouldn't want these other stories, which, to be quite frank, haven't appealed to me. Similar in this one, with the Aliens vs Predator. We've got, again, some really sort of half decent drawings, I would say. You know, there's a decent illustrations in there. And again, the storyline's okay. Does it sort of transfer across from the films? Sort of. And if I'm being perfectly honest, again, there's the other stories. Again, not particularly interesting for me. Another section of articles, and then another type of story. Again, looks like it's based in sort of New York or somewhere like that. So they're okay as comics. I'm glad in a sense that I wouldn't have paid the full price back in 1990 and 1989. But you know, it was worth having a look and seeing what they were all about. Will I hang on to them? Maybe. I may sort of then pass them on again at some point. But you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I might have found that I really, really enjoyed them, and I wanted to buy the series, if you like. So that's part of hobbies and exploring hobbies, is that you sort of have to look and find what you like. In this particular case, yeah, I think I probably will not be following on with these comics in the future. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe. And again, if you have any comments on these types of comics or other types of comics, perhaps you have a suggestion for me for future sort of exploration, if you like, of the comic world, then please do get in touch and let me know. All right, take care for now. Thank you. Bye-bye.